Hello, I'm David Gibson, a K-5 music teacher in the Twin Falls School District in Twin Falls, Idaho, and a student of Full Sail University in the Master of Science in Education Media Design and Technology program. Our district is somewhat caught up with digital technology for the classroom, and some classrooms and teachers are more equipped and utilize the technology better than others. But overall, teachers seem apprehensive to try new technologies for implementation in the classroom environment. Many teachers get frustrated trying to sort out the plethora of digital technologies available for teachers to use in the classroom. With the push from administration and legislation for increased technology use in the classroom, teachers need help navigating the wide array. Much of the digital technology promoted for education settings focuses on student use as a highly motivating factor. Good, but the highest motivating factor in engaging students in the classroom was the teacher, according to Bebel and O'Dwyer in 2010. Donison in 2009 stated that guidance from teachers was critical in the motivation and engagement of students and the use of technology. According to Jensen and Levitin, whole brain learning also aids in the education of students in technology. The ADDIE model assisted in honing the focus of my project as well as helped me stay on track throughout the action research process. Although there are 5 sections to the ADDIE process: analyze, design, develop, implement, and evaluate, I wanted to focus on the analyze portion first, the who, what, when, why, and how. After a study of literature available, I began to focus my action research project on teachers. The purpose of my action research project would be to increase motivation and engagement in students, and I hoped this would be accomplished by training teachers how to be the technology guides for the students. Donison in 2009 and Chen Ying and Seedhouse in 2010 agreed that learning landscapes had changed, and the most important aspect of student engagement was whether or not the environment was meaningful. Thus, it allowed for increased relevance. As the technology guide, teachers need to carefully choose the technology and the implementation methods that best fit their own classroom environment. With a clear focus and purpose in mind, I proceeded to design and build a training series that would inform teachers of the available technology, give information about use, and help teachers understand how and where to find resources that are new, emerging, and flexible for educators in the public school classroom. Because of the plethora of digital technology available to the classroom, I decided to focus on 2 primary technologies that are being utilized in our local school district: Google Drive and Edmodo. These 2 software platforms are readily available, but are used rarely by most teachers in our school district. Google Drive and Edmodo were chosen for the trainings because they provide what I felt, based on research, was key to the success of a technology-blended classroom. That is, they are collaboration ready, available on any device and any time of day, and they are easy to learn and implement. Cycle 1 focused mainly on Google Drive because Google Drive is seamlessly integrated into Edmodo. Teachers could create documents and videos, share files of any kind, and then utilize all of them in Edmodo later on. Before we go too far, let's talk about where teachers started out: the pre-assessment. I wanted to know how many teachers were actually using Google Drive or Edmodo. The answer? 0. Keep in mind that 42% of participants reported a high comfort level working with computers, and 57% reported a moderate comfort level working with computers. They were not novices when talking about computers. Additionally, the most common digital technology being utilized in the classroom was PowerPoint, projectors for presentation lectures or videos, and image slideshows, all of which are not student hands-on involved forms of digital technology use. One more piece of important information: all participants reported little to no digital training in the previous 2 years. The first implementation stage of the ADDIE process had Cycle 1 participants focused on creating and sharing files in Google Drive, retrieving data using Google Forms, and collaborating in both Google Drive and Edmodo, as well as other basic operating functions of Edmodo, such as joining and creating groups, creating small groups, gathering resources in Edmodo, and using the Edmodo library and apps. Here's a small portion of what they were learning.
Correct group that you want them to join, or that you're wanting to put your small group in. Then you're going to select small groups, and on that screen you're going to click New Small Group.
Now to finish the ADDIE process and evaluate how things went. Because this training process was not complete, the Evaluate phase restarted with analyzing Cycle 1 and 2 more closely. Then, to design and develop the aspects of Cycle 2 needed to make it even more successful during the next implementation phase. I knew I was on the right track when one participant stated,
my parents. For my colleagues, as we come into the new course standards, it gives us a way to create common documents and work with each other across schools and across even districts, where we can collaborate together to create the best possible materials for our students to use in the following years.
During Cycle 2, participants learned how to perform more advanced skills within the Google Drive and Edmodo platforms. I needed them to get more comfortable with the technology so they would be more likely to implement it for themselves when they returned to the classroom. I was constantly reminding myself of what Bebel and O'Dwyer pointed out in their research. The highest motivating factor in engaging students in the classroom was the teacher. Following the implementation of both cycles, I discovered strong correlations between the initial research I had done and the outcomes from the trainings. Following the training sessions, a 90% increase in student use of digital technology in the classroom was reported by participants on the post-assessment, and student engagement in the classroom increased from a mere 20% of very engaged to 57% very engaged. This increase in engagement was due to the increased student use of digital technology. Again, using the Evaluate stage of the ADDIE model, the implementation of the 2 cycles confirmed the idea that teachers don't just need digital technology in the classroom, they need practical ideas for utilizing it in a meaningful way to truly engage students. In 2009, Donison determined many teacher education programs as well as continuing professional development opportunities for existing teachers placed emphasis on proficient use of various technologies in which teachers acted as guides for the student in the digital environment. So what's next, you might ask? I have started discussing possible changes to teacher training programs with members of the higher ed community in Idaho, with the hope that there will be more opportunities for this type of training to take place before teachers are in the classroom. As well, I am discussing the possibilities of creating a district-wide training for all teachers and staff in the local school district that increases the usage of Google Drive and Edmodo in the classroom. The implementation of Cycle 2 confirmed the need for additional trainings like this when one teacher replied, "I wish all teachers could have this kind of training so we could all be on the same page." I am submitting my project to be published in the Journal of Digital Learning and Teacher Education.